Okay, so here I have the files for the Great Mekong Bike Ride 2018. I've got all the stages here, and it looks like they've shortened the race a little bit. The original distance was 415 k's, and now it's 370, but that's alright. Doesn't make much of a difference because most of the race is flat anyway, so it's just going to matter on the key points where there's a little bit of climbing. So the first stage, nothing special, 127 k's, 426 meters of climbing. So everyone should stay together on the first stage. Maybe some people who aren't on form will get dropped, but when it's flat like that, it's really easy. You can save up to 40% of your energy in the draft. So if you get dropped, there's no way in hell that you're going to make it up the steep climb. So yeah, it's not much to be concerned about here. Just stay in the bunch, and if you've got a good sprint at the end, give it a go. Next stage, this is the one where it counts, stage 2, 150 k's, 939 meters of climbing. And here's the key point. It's this segment here, 7.4%, 1.55 k's. This is where I want to do my attack, and then as you can see here, I'm going to have about 45, 50 k's to the end. So just got to hold them off, and then I should be able to get a little bit more gap here on this last little kick. I think everyone's going to be split up after this climb, so it definitely improves my chances for staying away. So yeah, that's stage 2. And then the final stage, only 267 meters of climbing for 93 k's. So again, just a flat stage. Just got to make sure nothing happens to your bike, and just stay with the front 10 guys. Stay in that mix, because if you stay too far in the peloton, then you increase your chances of crashing. So basically, you just got to avoid all mechanicals in this race, and just got to avoid crashing, and I'll have the best chance to succeed. So on we go to the training plan for the race. So since the race is 3 days in a row, I've decided to also replicate that in my training. So you can see here, it's 3 build phases, 1, 2, 3, and then the race. The race week, just going to recover there. So there's a rest day every Monday. I like to stick to that because it just gives you that mental break, and allows you to train a little bit harder than you otherwise would if you were just riding every single day, because just get that mental fatigue. So here you can see just short recovery rides at the end, activation ride the day before the race, and activation ride just 10 minutes, high cadence, 120 RPM, and a 3-minute max effort. And yeah, then the stage race starts on Friday and ends on the Sunday. So with the building phase, I'm going to work on the anaerobic and neuromuscular. Going to pretty much work on everything that's important for the race. Doing 5-minute hill reps, because that 7.4% climb, that's 1.5 k's long, it's going to take about 5 minutes to climb. And you can see here for the 5-minute efforts, I'm going to be doing the first one at maximal pace. Yeah, here we go. Recover for 4 minutes between each 5-minute hill rep, and do the first one at maximal pace. So the reason I'm doing the first one at maximal pace is so that I can get that adaptation, because there's just going to be one effort in the race that's really hard, and that's going to be the make or break effort. And the rest, it's just for building that endurance, being able to keep going when things get hard, when other people feel like giving up. So that's why I do 8 of them. And it's also to have that mental strength, because if you can push through 8 times 5-minute hill intervals, you're going to be pretty tough mentally. And then the next day, I'm working on threshold, 4 times 15 minutes, and that's going to be on the flat road, because most of the race is flat anyway. There's not going to be a climb that's longer than 5 minutes. So going to train that on the flat road so that I can break away on the flat part of the race. And then on the Friday, we've got the recovery, and then we've got upper endurance, 0.7 times FTP. My FTP now is 334 watts, so I'm just going to plug that in. But I will adapt it every week as my FTP goes up, which I'm predicting it will. And I will find my FTP on the 15-minute efforts. So I'll take the average of the best effort and the worst effort, add them together, and take the average of that, and then multiply it by 0.95. That should give me a pretty accurate FTP estimate. So then I'll just plug that into the endurance rides. And the only difference between each build week is that the endurance rides get longer. There's not really much more that I can add to the intensity because it's already really intensive, and you're not going to get much benefit if you do more intensity. This is about the limit of human physiology. After that, your efforts really just start to go down, so you're just wasting your time. So it's just like pushing myself to the max here to get that mental edge and to get the adaptations that I need. So each week it just gets an hour longer in total. So you can see the first week 3 hours and 3.5 hours for the endurance ride, next week 3.5 and 4 hours for the endurance ride, and the final week 4 hours and 4.5. And the shorter endurance ride is at a higher percentage of FTP, and the longer endurance ride is at a lower percentage, 60%, and shorter one 70%. So yeah, that's the training for the Mekhong stage race. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be tough mentally, but yeah, if you want to get great results, then you have to push yourself to a level that you haven't pushed yourself before. So yeah, I look forward to sharing this with you, and see you in the next videos.